Hi everyone, we are from SGDB5 and now we would like to present our student project about tracheitis. I'm Wanda with student number 133. I will explain about the background. The trachea is a part of the respiratory tract which is a continuation of the larynx and then branches into the right and left bronchi. The trachea is included in the conduction zone which is very important for the passage of air to and from the alveoli. Disturbance in the structure can inhibit the entry and exit of air, causing various clinical symptoms. One of the disorders of the trachea is tracheitis, which is a consequence of bacterial, viral, or fungal infections. This disease is characterized by purulent tracheal secretions and pseudomembranes that can cause an airway obstruction to respiratory failure. Although the incidence of tracheitis is still relatively rare, tracheitis is a life-threatening condition and requires prompt and appropriate diagnosis and intervention. Unfortunately, there are not many references that discuss how to diagnose and treat tracheitis. So based on the explanation, we would like to explain further about tracheitis, including its definition, epidemiology, etiology, pathophysiology, diagnosis, and its prognosis.
My name is Aini Putradini, student number 141. Some problems to be discussed are what is the definition, how is the epidemiology, etiology, pathophysiology, diagnosis, treatment, and prognosis of tracheitis. The purpose are to explain all the problems, and the benefits for public are to make a better understanding and awareness. For author are to make a better understanding and give more experience of scientific writing, and for the institution is to add more reference.
My name is Putu Arira Bramantia, student name 181, and today I'm going to explain about the definitions of tracheitis. Tracheitis is a bacterial superinfection of a fruitis tracheal viral process and is usually caused by Staphylococcus aureus. A variety of other organisms, including Moracilla catarrhalis, Streptococcus pneumonia, and non-typeable influenza have also been identified as being occasionally involved. The illness usually presents with a longer duration of symptoms than flu. In contrast to epiglottitis, the patient with bacterial tracheitis usually has an insidious onset of symptoms, and patients can exhibit both inspiratory and expiratory trigger. The patient with bacterial tracheitis is comfortable laying flat and would not move. Patients with bacterial tracheitis usually have an elevated white blood cell count. Recent studies have suggested that bacterial tracheitis is becoming less severe, with lower morbidity and decrease in the need for intubation.
Hello everybody, my name is Lalita Samala with student number 156 and I'll tell you about the epidemiology of tracheitis. Tracheitis is a unique and rare disease, but it can be an infectious disease with high morbidity in children. Bacterial tracheitis is more common and annually occurs as many as 0.1 cases per 100,000 children. This disease affects children 6 months to 8 years of age with an average patient age of 5 years. It can also affect infants and adults. Males have a slight tendency to experience this more bacterial tracheitis than females with a ratio of 1.3 to 1. In areas with poor seasons, the peak incidence of bacterial tracheitis occurs in autumn and winter, which usually occurs after seasonal viral infection, such as influenza, para-influenza, and respiratory syncytial virus. However, some patients are being reported to be a complication from an elective tonsillectomy and adenoidectomy. Thank you.
My name is Evina Gesitandi with three last digit student number 040H. Etiology of tracheitis is classified into community-acquired and nosocomial or healthcare-associated factor. Tracheitis in the community is caused by viral, bacterial, and fungal infection, but fungal infection is rare in children. Many viruses such as influenza A and B, measles virus, RSV, parainfluenza virus, and enterovirus might be responsible for tracheitis in the community. Bacteria such as Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus pneumonia, Klebsiella pneumonia, Moracilla catarrhalis, Haemophilus influenza type B, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Streptococcus pyogen, and Escherichia coli may be responsible for tracheitis. Aspergillus, Zygomycetes, and Cryptococcus neoformans are fungi that may be responsible for tracheal infection in adults. In nosocomial or healthcare-associated, common cause of tracheitis is use of mechanical ventilation and tracheostomy. Besides that, people with immunodeficiency is susceptible with trachea infection.
My name is Anastasia Vanetrixi Pustianto, student number 128. Tracheitis happens as a result from bacterial superinfection after viral upper respiratory illness. The invasion of bacteria stimulates local and systemic inflammatory response, which then leads to tracheitis or inflammation of the trachea. Thank you.
My name is Dias Bhaskara Adirajasa, student number 168. Symptoms. If a person has tracheitis, it is likely to occur after they have an upper respiratory tract infection, such as the common cold. Early symptoms that may appear are cough, runny nose, and low-grade fever. They may experience more symptoms of infection and airway obstruction after more than 1 to 3 days.
Hello, my name is Ferdinand with digit number 108. So for the diagnosis, these symptoms of tracheitis include first high fever, deep cough, hard to breathe, wheezing, nose white, and also cyanosis. Patient may also experience stridor. This is a high-pitched sound when they breathe. This is often a sign of serious infection and a partial airways obstruction. And also, this can be life-threatening.
Hello, my name is Abeoga, and today I would like to tell you about the examination for tracheitis. First, primary examination, which are anamnesis and physical examination. Second, nebulized epinephrine and glucocorticoid trials, which shows negative results. And third, white blood cell count, which is not specific, but it can show leukocytosis or mild leukopenia. Fourth, there are ESR and CRP, which are not specific, but it can increase in 68% of patients. Fifth, there is blood culture, which rarely positive. Then six, epilateral radioimaging in neck and thorax, which shows stable sign, candle dripping sign, and 50% pneumonia. And lastly, which is definitive diagnosis, which can be laryngoscopy and bronchoscopy, which shows thick mucopurulent exudate and erythematous and edematous trachea.
Hello, my name is Putri Agnes Monica with number student 100. So let me explain about the treatment for tracheitis. There are three basic concepts treatment for tracheitis. First is airway protection. For the airway protection, we can use intubation, suction, and also tracheostomy to keep the airway safe. Second, we can use empirical antibiotic for gram-negative and positive for 10 until 14 days. The first line treatment is ceftriaxone plus nafcillin or vancomycin, or we can use clindamycin plus the third generation of cephalosporin or ampicillin sulfactam. For the patient with a beta-lactam antibiotic allergy, we can use vancomycin or clindamycin plus levofloxacin or ciprofloxacin. And the last is glucocorticoid. For patients with tracheitis, using glucocorticoid have not been shown to alter clinical course or patient outcomes.
Hello everyone, my name is Dehi Sutari, student number 173. Moving on to prognosis. Children with bacterial tracheitis with no complications ultimately recover with no long-term morbidity. And if they do have complications, most of them usually have pneumonia, acute respiratory distress syndrome, septic shock, toxic shock syndrome, etc. So in the early 20th century, the mortality rate usually goes up to 40%. However, as time goes on, no mortality has been reported in the most recent and largest cases series in this illness. This improvement is due to early recognitions and administrations of broad-spectrum antibiotics, which plays an important role in this improvement.
Hello, my name is Rustata Parambita Karimaya with name 170. Tracheitis is an infection of trachea due to bacteria, virus, or fungi that can cause airway obstruction from its purulent tracheal secretion at pseudomembranes. Tracheitis is rare. It mainly affects children 6 months to 8 years of age. The most common is bacterial tracheitis that affects 0.1 per 100,000 children annually. Examples of common viruses and fungus that can cause tracheitis are influenza A and B, measles, RSV, Aspergillus, Zygomycetes, and Cryptococcus neoformans. Meanwhile, bacterial tracheitis usually occurs after viral upper respiratory infection. The virus causes mild mucosal injury to the trachea, hence easier to be invaded by opportunistic bacteria such as Staphylococcus aureus and Moraxella catarrhalis, which will then damage the tracheal mucosa, hence stimulating local and systemic inflammatory response. Tracheitis can be community acquired or nasocomyal. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Pratista and my student number is 2337. So now I'm going to continue the conclusion. Common symptoms of tracheitis include cough, runny nose, fever, wheezing, cyanosis, and stridor. Laryngoscopy and bronchoscopy are the definitive diagnostic modalities used to diagnose tracheitis. As tracheitis may cause airway obstruction, the first management to be done is airway protection. Broad-spectrum antibiotics must be given until the culture results are obtained. Tracheitis morbidity has decreased over the past years, which is likely to be associated with early recognition and improved treatment of the disorder. Children with tracheitis would ultimately recover as long as no complications such as pneumonia occurred during the acute illness.